Welcome all into the room. How's everybody doing? Who's here? And salute to Elisa and salute to Kendra. Appreciate you coming through. Thank you for the love. But anyone who knows that we are primarily a members only forum. We open up, to let people come in and engage with us. We do. But today, not the day for that. You have to excuse me. As usual, I'm multitasking, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling my best. I think winter has officially caught up, or fall, because it's not winter yet. Got a couple more months before winter. No, it's members only today. It's members only today, guys. And I am working from bed. Been trying to fight it off, allergies and all of that, but I got hit with a bug. So, once you get to a certain age, you really have to pay attention because stuff holds on a lot tighter than it used to. So I had to take some supplements, stuff like that, and I have to put some food on my stomach. So y'all are going to have to forgive me if the food ASMR is too much today. But for those who are watching, whether or not you have a membership or not, please feel free to like. And if you want, it's pinned right here in the chat. You can go to the channel and you can grab a membership and come and participate. So I want to thank you guys who's here. We got Hope here. We got Letitia here. Mayad. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate you for that. TMZ, I know. They doing a lot. And yes, we are definitely members only. We are not open to all. You know how we do around here. I've been trying to, open up the platform a little bit here and there to let people come in and get a sense of the room because, some people are like, oh, it's members only and I can't do this and I can't do that. But there are reasons why we do the things that we do. And yes, y'all already know. Members only is what we do around here. Margie. Hey, Shannon. Golden. Welcome, Golden. You got gifted a membership, didn't you? Welcome. We got Pat, we got Mika. Everyone's saying hey, by the way. Did I get enough sleep? Yeah. I think I got enough sleep. But trust me, after this, because we still have other work that we have to do, we have other things that are going on. And yeah. Yeah, but I'll be working from bed primarily today. So, but I wanted to come in and get up with everybody. I'm not sure how much I'll be live tomorrow because honestly, really just focused on the content and getting the content out here. It's a lot going on. Welcome, Dragon. And Mayada, as always, thank you so much. And Cece, welcome. Welcome to Jag Nation. We have Delicia, Quiet Ones in the building. Carla Turner's in the building. Akshay is in the building. Okay. Hey, Auntie Leah. And everybody, don't forget, Auntie Leah is going to be going live a little bit later on. I believe she's doing a presentation on D'Angelo. I'm sure it's going to be informative, and y'all know she loves doing her songography, so I'm sure she has a wonderful tribute set up to him. Please don't forget to support. And congratulations to you, Auntie Leah. You have crossed over your 100K. Congratulations. Yeah, it's hell of a feat, and trust me, I know Right now, we're sitting on the edge of 96K, and hopefully, we'll be crossing over to the 100K very soon ourselves over here. What? Who's this? Who's this? Who's this? Yeah. Hold on a second. So you guys know we have a lot going on with the Derek Lee Cordell Smith case. Oh, plenty of fluids. Plenty of fluids. Auntie Leah, who knows? Who knows? But I mean, y'all know, they a little rough on me. They don't like me to get too far. So I don't know. Do I look sick? Do I look old and sick? I don't know. We'll see. I'll tell you one thing. I gotta shake this thing off because I don't like being down. Man. I'm sitting here, I'm monitoring myself on the screen, so I'm looking to see what I'm looking. I don't know. It's funny. Some days I see me and I'm like, but then again, I am shooting up. So anytime you're shooting up, everything looks like, I don't know, maybe I need to pull it down. But see, I don't want to pull it down. Maybe I should just keep it here. I don't know. I really haven't gone over my camera placements lately. I haven't been doing that too much. Now I have another setup that I could use, but the truth is I'm too lazy to do it right now. I am. I'm sitting here, I'm smelling my breakfast. My God. So yeah, anywho's, and yes, and Odell is thanking everyone for the love and support. It's pretty much gonna be me today. Me and this breakfast bowl. You gotta put something on your stomach. You can't just be taking a bunch of stuff and just drinking a bunch of fluids. You have to keep food on your system. Like, it's, yeah. Mm. You come for my content, not all the bells and whistles. Listen to me. Bells and whistles will be coming sooner than later. Um, but this channel it's our hang. It's where you guys get to talk to me. It's where I get to talk to you. It's where we get to kick it. And I think that's what's kind of cool about this channel, because there's a lot of people who follow content creators. And there's a lot of people who follow celebrities. I live between so many different worlds when it comes to this online stuff. So you have me doing commentary. You have a bunch of people who are stalking me, harassing me, doing all kinds of stuff, gang stalking me, lying on me, doing all kinds of craziness. You have me caught up between this, that. I was on the run. I wasn't on the run. I was in jail. I wasn't in jail. I did this. I didn't do that. Commentary here, there, this channel, that channel. And so, like, there's so many different levels and versions of me, Jaguar Wright, online. But that's what makes this channel so cool, because this is a place where you get to see all the other stuff if you choose, and then you get to come here and you get to see me. And then you get to talk to me and you get to ask me. And I get to meet you and get to know you. And that's why I think it's great that we're members only, because we're now in a position where we can really just build a community. And because there's not a lot of places that have great community here on YouTube. You have a lot of fodder, you have a lot of hate, you have a lot of this, you have a lot of that. But Listen to me. If you miss a few lives, that's okay. They're all here. You can come and see them. And we're going to be cutting up a few things and putting out some stuff so people don't miss some really key, great moments. Actually, we have a lot of great moments in a lot of lives. And I need to get better at the idea of cutting them up and just posting those for you guys to have. So for those of you who don't want to sit here through the whole thing, if you just want to catch this moment or catch that moment, you can. I got to get better at that. And I will. So we're almost at 100 likes. Appreciate that. We could use 100 more. So let's talk about it. Now, last night I went live. Sure did. And the reason why I went live last night was because I saw something happening online. Very troublesome. And now, new day, new information. But what I love is that I'm never too far off. I'm never too far off the mark. And they hate me for that. Matter of fact, they hate me for it so much. We're going to be addressing some comments. Actually, maybe we should address the comments first. You really want to share something with me and get my insight on it? Well, you're more than welcome to share here in the chat, Quincy. You know, we're open here to conversation. But you know, I don't really live in the comment section, and I should. Like, I see it, but I don't do a lot of engaging. I should engage more. So let's just get to it. Okay, guys, I just got bumped out. I'm back. I'm back. Okay, what we're not going to do, this is not a political commentary channel. Thank you for your appreciation, but this isn't about politics. Not today. Let's not do that. It's bad taste. So, anywho's in. I was trying to turn this around. I don't know if anyone knows who this is. Now, I've seen this person around. I've seen them around in certain places. Places I'm not too fond of. $12 subscribers. Let's see how long have they been online. Let's take a look. Okay. So we have Jersey New. Okay. Poetry, Poverty. I don't even understand that. But they've been here since last summer. Got it. There's a lot of trolls that came in. Okay. Came in last year. Came in to defame me. Came in to disgrace me. I'm here. Can everyone hear me? I hope everyone can hear me. I hope we're not having any issues. Okay. And I'm going to pop back and forth because I want everybody to be able to see the information that I'm sharing, because it's really important. Oh, thank you so much, Delicia. Appreciate you. Uh, there are people who literally get on this app. I don't know if some of them are being paid, some of them might just be motivated by hate. Don't know. Uh, but the reason why we're bringing this person up is because last night's live prompted this person who, like, let's just be clear. If these are your memes that you're putting up, if these are your posts that you're putting up, I think it says a lot about who you are. Like that this is there's no engagement on this channel. There's no nothing. Just hateful. Just hateful. So let's get into some of these comments they left on the live we did last night. So this person came on this morning and had some really, really, really nasty, you know, lightweight menacing things to say. People who give an F about their lives do more thinking before appreciate. I don't even know what that means. Um, no, if then guys didn't unalive Jaguar Wright, we go see in future how serious Jaguar Wright takes these situations. I mean, wow, these are some interesting comments. And then they come back to reiterate people who don't give an F above they life is gonna be keep moving the same excuses and complaints. Very, 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 very. They should probably give up poetry and just start with Hooked on Phonics because they don't even know how to put together a decent sentence. It, no, I don't think this is AI generated at all. I don't. I don't. Even AI doesn't make these kind of grammatical errors. Okay, then we start getting to the all caps comments. And as you see, they just started putting them back to back to back. If Jaguars Wright don't wind up getting a Pow Pow license or keep Goonies around, people who don't care more on day life, anyone who moves like Jaguar Wright, make sure y'all stay around live with Goonies, no excuses. Okay. And once we get to the all caps, now we know they're definitely trolling. This is complete trolling. Okay, to all people, if you not ready to pass away, don't ever approach or run up on no vehicles. Now, see, this is how I know this is a troll, because they're making a subliminal reference to something that happened in the past. Very interesting. And then let's just take a look at this last one we have here. Jaguar moving like she got Goonies around her. So I wanted to ask you guys just a couple questions about how you feel about those comments. Because when I first saw the first couple, before I realized this person literally came in and just went comment, 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 and then with the bold and talking about people being unalived and don't move like this, don't move like that, people this, people that, whoop-de whoop-de whoop. Yeah, I said, I'm looking at your comments. I'm not quite sure what you mean by this. Can you please clarify? Otherwise, they will be, regarded as harassment and treated all the same. There's a lot of people that are harassing and doing a lot of crazy things. What I found most interesting is, I know it is. It is just nuts. So I didn't even bother to wait for a response. I went, I checked the account, I saw what it was hitting for. Looks like a total troll account. People have been targeting me on this app for years. That I know. And that I won't say that I've grown accustomed to it, but what I do pay attention to is the tone and what's going on with it. So I wanted to ask you guys if you find any of what I just showed you and shared with you threatening or menacing in any way. Because if it is to you, then I don't know, maybe it's time. We really need to start reporting the unsavory characters. We really need to start reporting people who are, doing great harm online, because this shouldn't be necessary. But when I see the videos that they jump in on, like for instance, people putting, you know, links to other videos, to other channels that are trying to lightweight line me up or disparage me. No, that's a no-go. That's a no-go. But when I look and see, I get a sense of it. And this poverty person was also clienteling. And let's not forget, Grace went live with us, and it was her first time camming up. And that apparently upset a lot of people. It upset a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought that after they came for Grace, after they came for Ayasha, after they came for me, I think they took pride in the idea of thinking that they tore apart the whole team, that they chased everybody offline, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, and so on, so on, and so forth. I didn't even want Grace to cam up. Grace said, no, I want to cam up. And it's funny because one of the people that was harassing her, they've been online for years and they have never cammed up. They have never showed their face. Yeah, they were threatening Grace. They were harassing Grace. They were doing a lot of stuff. Even put up a picture, some kind of mugshot that wasn't even her. Like, really harassing. But I realized that anytime we're becoming effective, anytime we're really making a difference, anytime we're really striking a nerve with the opposition, I start seeing really crazy comments pop up. And all I ask is that from the community here, from us here, is if you see something that looks not right, report it. Like, we gotta do that because this shouldn't be allowed. I don't know if any of you have seen the video that Kenny Lattimore and his wife, Judge Faith, did. I think I'm going to post it on the community wall so everyone can take a look. But it's very informative on how they were able to identify the troll farm that was stalking them. And what they came to find out is that a lot of the people that were stalking them weren't even here from the United States, overseas. It's it's interesting. It's really, 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 really interesting. Now, for me, I know I have stalkers overseas, and I know that I have stalkers here. But it's definitely a cult. And that leads back to, you know, last night's live. It must have really got under some people's skin. In order for somebody to get up first thing in the morning and just start listen to me, I couldn't even tell you about what Cat Williams' brother did. I don't know that man, not trying to know that man. Now all of it, so he did an interview just about me. He did? I know that he did an interview, but I didn't know that he had done one just about me. Really? Fill me in. See, I don't be watching these people, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. He praised me. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't watch these people. I have no idea. But what I do know is whatever issues he has with his brother has absolutely nothing to do with me. I'm not interested in getting involved in anybody's family squabbles or beefs. I don't want. It has nothing to do with me. And he came to me with that stuff last year, and I said no, thank you, and we moved on. So I don't know. For me, I don't particularly like being clout chased. I don't. Plenty of people do it though, but I don't particularly. Yeah, I don't particularly care for it. And anybody who thinks sitting with Tasha K is a good idea, I'm not particularly cool with that either. Like I really don't. I don't bang with that because I know who she is and I know what she's about. The simple fact that she got caught lying in court and she still hasn't paid that debt and people are still buying into that, it's kind of scary. Because what it says is people don't really care about whether or not somebody is telling the truth. They're just there. Welcome, Princess CS. So let's get into what we talked about last night. We talked about a couple of things last night. We talked about the David and Celeste potential disinformation that we're watching happen before our very eyes. And we also talked about this conversation about Diddy being pardoned. Now, what I find really interesting is that I said it last night. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. But because TMZ jumped in on that conversation so quickly, saying that it was happening and that Diddy was going to be home this week. Well, guess what? Guess what? Overnight, guess what? Guess what happened? Apparently, the Daily Mail got into the conversation as well. And they said that they reached out to Trump. They reached out. And guess what? It not true. So let's Google it. Because they are now saying fact check. Okay, here we go. Let's read it. This is an AI overview. Alrighty. President Donald Trump has not pardoned Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs. A report from TMZ, which actually came out October 20th, 2025, claiming that Trump was considering commuting Combs' sentence this week, was denied by a White House official. Okay. Harvey little hands Leviathan got on his very large platform, almost 5 million subscribers here on YouTube, and told everybody that Diddy was coming home this week, that Diddy was getting a pardon this week. Several other content creators decided to run with that. The one that was the most disgusting, though, was Willena. Willena D from the Ghetto Boys sat there, and people literally sat in her chat, this little prissy old man, and said, that's not happening, that's not true. And he said, Diddy's gonna be home in just a couple days. And you come back and you say that exact same thing to me when Diddy comes home. Oh, they beyond tried it. They didn't try it. They tried to sell it as true. They tried to sell it as fact. Let me read it one more time. President Donald Trump has not pardoned Sean Diddy Combs, a report from TMZ on October 20th, 2025, claiming that Trump was considering commuting Combs' sentence this week, was denied by a White House official. Now, understand this. Somebody could even try to say, oh, well, whoever that was misspoke. They didn't hear that from the president. He's still considering it. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Whatever. And da-de-da. Yeah, no. White House sources and officials can't make statements that haven't been verified by the Oval Office. They're not allowed to. And the president can consider whatever he wants. Anybody can consider whatever they want. But I've been sitting here preaching about the dangers of TMZ for quite some time. Now, last year, when they were busy trying to destroy my credibility, they ran with a story that came from a YouTuber. The origin of it was a YouTuber. And then that YouTuber took that story and then it went to another larger platform on YouTube, and then boom, TMZ started reporting on it. So that robot person got a personal phone number of ours and tried to link us to Tony Busby because they were trying to create a story that I was working with Tony Busby. Not true. Tony Busby's office was contacted by someone pretending to be associated with us. And they happened to call while I was live online, and we addressed it. TMZ picked that story up and ran with it. Ran with it. We called them and they started sitting there trying to double talk and over talk someone from New York. And when I got on the phone to address that they were lying and that they should retract what they said, he just hung up. They also ran with another lie regarding me. You know, but the problem is, the biggest problem that I have with all of that is that all of these lies that TMZ ran with about me originated on YouTube channels that they shouldn't even know exist. Now, I appreciate the 200 likes that we have. Can we please get at least about 250 more, maybe 300? That would be great. Let's get these likes up to 500. That would be awesome. This is a mobile upload, so all you have to do is just double tap the screen, or you can hit that drop screen with the 3 dots and the like is there. Appreciate you. So I want you guys to think about how dangerous that is, because TMZ is a large platform. They reach a lot of people. Not only are they on television, but they're very heavy on social media. Their YouTube channel here has almost 5 million subscribers, which is a nice chunk of viewers. Yeah, and that is the interesting thing, Princess CS, because a lot of the information, the unreal information that TMZ has done on me comes from troll farms. Now, I don't know. Odell?
Yeah.
That commentary that we had, that conversation that we had at the courthouse with someone from TMZ, should we revisit that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to understand. You know, there was a member of Diddy's legal team is related to someone who has a TMZ podcast with Harvey Littlehands. Like, Harvey Littlehands had connection to someone that was representing Diddy in the trial. I watched employees of TMZ coordinating with multiple YouTubers. When we were there on the first day of trial, like, they were already embedded. Yeah, Garagos. Two Angry Men podcast. So now, and let's be clear, right before Diddy was sentenced, back in July, TMZ was sitting here online convincing everybody that he was going home. Does everybody remember that? Appreciate you. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. 200 more likes will be awesome. I'm not putting him to sleep. It's not my fault today. It's not my fault today. It really isn't my fault. But I tell you one thing, he needs the rest. Been working hard, and we still have a lot more hard work to do. But let's be clear. I wanted to get this straight today because I'm trying to show something, because when I saw all of those negative comments this morning that looked more like lightweight threats, threatening my safety, veiled threats for my safety, veiled threats for anyone who follows my content. Like, I want y'all to think about the stuff that you saw. If them guys haven't taken out Jaguar Wright, why would anybody be having that kind of conversation regarding me? Let's look at these. Let's look at these again. I'm moving like I got Goonies around me. Like, why? Why would I need to move like I got goons around me? I'm not breaking the law. Unlike other people on this app, I'm not sitting around making up blatant lies, lying on people. That's not happening. I'm not threatening people. I'm not harassing people. I saw an interesting comment the other day on one of my other social media platforms saying, with everything the Jaguar knows, she should be sitting in jail with Diddy. It's not fair that Diddy's in jail and Jaguar Wright is not. It's wild. Now, last night, I made it very clear that I'm looking at all of the disinformation that's going on, and I'm looking at where it's coming from. Like, I'm looking at where it's coming from, and what it really seems like is that there's a whole network of people that are paid to confuse the public. That's really what it's looking like. That stuff that private investigator was saying about the case with Celeste, and just the way confusing the details, confusing the information. Tell me something. Who does it serve to lie to the public and say that the president is doing something that he's not doing? Who does it serve? Like, this isn't news. These are lies. Flat out lies. I have proof and evidence that TMZ has lied on me, created false narratives about me. And I want you guys to think about that. Millions of people they reach on a daily basis. I went to an America's Future event and spoke on panel at that event back in late August. And do you know that the disinformation is so thick that a woman who I sat down with and I spoke on her podcast actually thought that Diddy wasn't still in jail. She thought he was out. She thought he was out. Like, it was crazy because we're sitting there and she's about to interview me and she was just like, I just know that it's been so difficult for you after everything that you've done and after everything that you've shared and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo and yada, yada, yada. And she says, but I hope you know that your efforts aren't for nothing. Just because he's not in jail doesn't mean you didn't do the right thing. Like, she was on that kind of time with me. And I'm like, huh? Huh? I said, Diddy's still in jail? She looked at me and said, huh? I said, yeah. You didn't know that? She said, no, I thought he got off. I thought he was acquitted of everything. I thought he was home. And I looked at her and I said, God said no. I said he was acquitted of the more serious charges, but he was convicted of the lesser charges. And it's so funny because people kept using language like, Diddy won, Diddy won, Diddy's coming home, Diddy got a slap on the wrist, Diddy's going to be home by the end of the week. I want you to think about how delusional the people around him are. I want you to think about that. They had planned a 4th of July party. A 4th of July party. They were spending money, putting all of this stuff together. Oh no, Harvey Leviathan is beyond cool with Diddy. He's beyond cool with Diddy. In my opinion, he is a full-on agent for the Shluminati at this point, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's true. This is all alleged, but in my opinion, I mean, look at who he does spin for. But this was desperate. And see, they do all of this stuff to confuse the public, knowing that their voice is louder and that their voice gets more favor than other people like me who are sitting here fighting to get the truth out there. Do you know how disheartening that was for me? I'm sitting there in an interview with a woman who has a national podcast, and she literally believed that Diddy was out of jail already. Thank you, Delicia. Thank you. I want you to think about that. Me, who's constantly being suppressed, me, who's constantly being AI'd, me, who's constantly being misrepresented, me, who's constantly being clout chased, me, who's constantly being like, I do so much just to keep in the fight, to make sure that people, and that's why I keep doing what I'm doing. For me to sit there just a couple of months ago, not even 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago, for me to sit there, actually, no, closer to 2 months ago, yeah, about 7 weeks ago, for me to sit there with a woman with a national podcast who actually thought and was having the conversation that Diddy was already out of jail. That goes to show you how effective these people are. That goes to show you how. I think we're back. Got it. Of course, they don't want the numbers to go up. Of course not. So let's run these numbers up. Come on, guys. We need 150 more likes. See, every time they do this, what they're really showing and telling people is that they're worried about what I'm saying. Oh, they're most definitely watching. And it's funny because I was just saying, if they're making a big fuss about what I'm saying about these matters, then imagine how uncomfortable they are about everything that we're about to share regarding Derek Lee Cordello Smith. I want y'all to think about that. Now, exactly, they definitely don't want me getting into 100K. They don't. But company policy is company policy. So, I mean, imagine what that must feel like. Imagine what that's going to be like for them. Imagine. You know, so many people have invested and have made money off of disgracing and defaming me. A lot of people. A lot of people. So, here we are. I want you to think about how uncomfortable it's about to be with all of the very, very, very real things that we have to share. You got to ask yourself, why does nobody want to take into consideration that all of these so-called news outlets are all working together to confuse the public? They said, get well. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about everybody who went live. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's just for shits and giggles, I'm going to put in Trump pardons Diddy. Let's see how many thumbnails. Okay, we have the Breakfast Club 6 hours ago. 6 hours ago, the Breakfast Club. Trump could pardon Diddy this week.
Sentence as early as this week. Now, according to this source, Trump is going back and forth on this. And there are some White House staff that are saying, don't do it. Leave it alone. He wasn't supporting you. But the source made it clear Trump is going.
Hold on a second.
There's a moment in every swing when you know.
Fair use. Auntie Leah, could we drop that fair use? Oh, trust me, the liquids, all of that stuff, it's happening, my eye. It's all happening. What's that? That's something. That's fair use.
I reached out and didn't get any response, true or not true, on this. So Diddy may be pardoned this week. This news comes from a high-ranking White House official. It's an alleged report. I reached out and didn't get any response, true or not true, on this. So I don't know, where that leaves us. But according to a high-ranking White House official, they told
Did you hear that? Diddy could get pardoned this week, according to a high White House official. Now, she said I reached out and I couldn't get an answer either way. But they're saying, like, do you hear the disinformation? Do you hear exactly the disinformation? I want you to listen. What she's doing is, and it's a very clever game. And Lauren has gotten pretty good at lying, in my opinion. She's gotten pretty good at it. She knows how to sell some BS real quick and then put the disclaimer in there. She's been trained very well. Got to give her that. You can tell she's used to lying to boyfriends and saying that she wasn't with somebody the night before, in my opinion. This is all alleged, of course.
So Diddy may be pardoned this week. This news comes from a high-ranking White House official. It's an alleged report. I reached out and...
It's an alleged report. Does that make sense to you? Diddy might be pardoned, and this comes from a high White House official, but it's an alleged report. Does that make sense to anybody? If it came from a high White House official, why would it be alleged? You can't make this crap up. It came from a high White House official, but it's an alleged report.
Didn't get any response. So Diddy may be pardoned this week. This news comes from a high-ranking White House official. It's an alleged report.
Diddy may be getting pardoned this week. This comes from a high White House official, but it's an alleged report.
I reached out and didn't get any response, true or...
I reached out and didn't get any response, true or false. The Breakfast Club has even more subscribers than TMZ. The Breakfast Club has almost 6 million subscribers. They have 5.99 million subscribers. They're like 100 away from having 6 million subscribers. That's more than 1 million more subscribers than TMZ. I want you to think about that. 6 million subscribers there, almost 5 million subscribers there. That's 11 million people. Easy. They're able to reach 11 million people. Word of mouth? If 1 out of every 5 people from those 11 million people that they're able to reach believes or shares that information. You talking in a day, 25 million people easy could hear and possibly believe that this is true. Am I wrong? Like I said, 2 months ago, I sat down with someone who has a national podcast who actually believed that Diddy was already home. That's how thick the disinformation is in these streets. Now, this is the thing. If you made a phone call, which I'm assuming she's trying to insinuate she made a phone call to the White House. Now, I want you to think about that. A morning radio show with the ability to call the White House. An urban morning radio show with the ability to call the White House. And definitely in league with TMZ. You called the White House. You heard an alleged report and you couldn't get an answer whether or not it was true or not. You couldn't get a yay or a nay. Then why are you talking about it? Does that make any sense? Something like this on a platform this large. On a platform this large? Like, I'm just trying to understand journalistic integrity. Because from what I used to understand regarding journalistic integrity, you shouldn't go running to the public with a loudspeaker about something that you don't know about. Now, some people may say, well, Jag, you say plenty of things. You say plenty of things, Jag, and you didn't do this, and you didn't do that, and you didn't do this, and you didn't do that. See, this is the problem. For instance, like, let's look at some of these weirdo lawsuits people have tried to put on me. You want to know what I find funny? People want to say all of the things that I said, but you want to know what's really interesting? I've had a lot of things to say about Jill Scott. Has Jill ever tried to sue me? I've had a lot of things to say about the Roots. Matter of fact, I've had a lot of things to say about a lot of people in the neo-soul community, and nobody has said anything. Nobody is sued. Want to know why? Because they can't. Because everyone knows I'm telling the truth. See, you can't sue someone for telling the truth. So what they did in their ingathering is they got other people to come after me instead. Now, can you run to the public and say whatever you want to say? Yeah, you can. Plenty of people get online and lie all the time. But when you have a platform this large, I don't even have 100,000 subscribers here yet. They have 6 million. They should be held to a higher standard, don't you think? A much higher standard. Because their word travels much faster than mine. It gets around a lot easier than mine. And it's not suppressed. Not at all. Not in any way. Not by any means. Not suppressed at all. So, how do you get online? Like, okay, the conversation's being passed around. You want to acknowledge it because you want to be a part of the conversation. You don't want to be kept out of the conversation. Yeah, Margie, I have ruffled a lot of feathers. Yeah, but lying on the executive branch of our government, that's a whole nother level. So say there are rumors that the president will be, you can say that there are rumors that the president will be pardoning this person. That's not lying because there are. There's tons of rumors. A lot of rumors going around. But that's not the way she framed this. I want y'all to listen to the way she framed this.
So Diddy may be pardoned this week. This news comes from a high-ranking White House official. It's an alleged report. I reached out and didn't get any response, true or not true, on this. So I don't know, where that leaves us. But according to a high-ranking White House official, they told TMZ that Trump is considering commuting Diddy's sentence as early as this week. Now, according to this source, Trump has gone back and forth on this, and there are some White House staff that are saying, "Don't do it. Leave it alone. He wasn't supporting you." But the source made it clear Trump is going to do what he wants, so it can happen as early as this week. Now, y'all remember when there was, some of Diddy's attorneys that were doing interviews and saying that they were having conversations with Trump, and then.
So this is what they're doing here. They're trying to save face for TMZ. That's what's happening here. Now I went on and I pulled it up. It already said it's a lie. So she gets online on this channel and says she reached out, couldn't get any answers, so she don't know where that leaves things. But a high-ranking White House official said it's possible. There are people that are saying no. There are people that are saying he's going to do what he wants to do, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, but no. Now, Daily Mail came out and said that they reached out to a White House insider and said no. Of course they running a play. They running a big one. The question is why do they get to do it? I want y'all to think about all of this. This is the Breakfast Club. Like I said, they got almost 6 million subscribers. Speaking with no facts behind it. No facts at all. And she said it herself. But see, this is the disinformation game. This is how it works. Now, I couldn't get anything. But even though I couldn't get anything, oh, and yes, by the way, this report is alleged. But what was alleged... Okay, so TMZ.
I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
Rolling Stone, but that was from 5 months ago. Let's see, 6 hours ago.
Sean Diddy Combs has formally requested a presidential pardon from Donald Trump, following his conviction on two
That's an AI channel, of course. Boss Talk. Trump may pardon Diddy, close friend of Diddy.
Puff Daddy, I'm an entertainer. I entertain people.
Most rooms in a home aren't the same temperature. Smart thermostats and
Boss
room sensors
Talk,
can help.
they got
Don't
over
fix the
300,000
underlying problem.
subscribers. They're based out of Houston, Texas. They got over 300,000 subscribers. Trump may pardon Diddy, a close friend of Diddy says.
Yep.
Now,
President Trump may be considering commuting the sentence for Sean Diddy Combs, and K-Fed is revealing new details about the end of his marriage to Britney Spears. TMZ's Branson Quirk is live in Los Angeles. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
We are doing great. Let's start with Diddy. So he's serving a 50-month prison sentence for prostitution-related charges. He's served 13 months and with credit would get out in about 2 years. But you guys have a source in the White House who says Diddy could actually be out as early as this week if the president gets involved.
Right, exactly. TMZ, we spoke to a high source there at the White House that told us that Donald Trump is vacillating, really considering...
TMZ Audio Network, 2 hours ago. Trump will pardon Diddy this week.
Y'all are going to start listening to me. It's just been reported by TMZ that Donald Trump is considering commuting Diddy's...
It's just been reported by TMZ. Do y'all hear how many reports? That was 5 reports.
Okay, so President Donald Trump is weighing whether he wants to exercise his pardoning powers in order to commute Diddy's sentence. Now, this comes after Diddy's team reached out to the president asking for a pardon after Diddy was sentenced to 50 months behind bars for violating the...
All saying Diddy and TMZ. Diddy and TMZ. Diddy and TMZ. TMZ said. TMZ said. TMZ said. I'm sitting here. Diddy could be released this week if Trump pardons him.
President Trump says...
What? President Trump says what?
Sean Diddy Combs has asked him for a pardon.
You know, it's really sad because this has been going on for quite some time. And understand this.
It was the best thing that ever happened to me because it changed me.
For 4 months, Donald Trump addresses.
Look at the facts.
Donald Trump addresses whether he'd pardon Sean Diddy Combs amid the rapper's federal trial for sex trafficking and racketeering currently underway in New York. The president shared insight into his former friendship with Combs and whether he'd issue a pardon if he's convicted. Trump told reporters during an Oval Office event alongside Elon Musk May 30th in response to a question about a possible...
Stepping away from his...
When all else...
Donald Trump considering commuting Diddy's sentence. Donald Trump considering this. Donald Trump considering that. You want to know what people aren't considering? The fact that Diddy was just forced to register himself. His lawyers had to put him on the registry for the SA offender. So I guess if he gets pardoned and his sentence gets commuted or gets overturned, he doesn't have to be on the registry no more, does he? I want y'all to think about that. That's the whole gag. That's the whole gas. He don't want to be on the registry. And he's going to be monitored. He's going to be, if he has to live by any of this stuff that the judge has put on him, his life isn't going to be very fun. It's not going to be very fun at all. It's going to be quite the drag. He's going to be monitored. He's going to be watched. It's literally all over Google. I keep getting Google alerts that he is appealing his sentence. Exactly. Why would they be filing for an appeal? Why would they be filing for an appeal? They've been going back and forth about this nonsense since June. This appeal business. But considering that TMZ is behind the charge to convince all of the world that he's coming home this week. Willie D said he was going to be home on Sunday for football. Willie D said, he has 1 million subscribers. If I pull up 10 of these pro Diddy accounts, we're talking 20 million people reach. 20 million people reach means that word of mouth alone, that word could get out to about 40 million? Easy? These are significant numbers in disinformation. The question is why is nobody ever held accountable for the lies that they tell? Why? Yeah, I don't understand how people don't see what's going on, but this is the problem that I'm really having regarding all of this. Let me get to the bottom of it. None of this was being kicked around. until what? Last weekend? Like last Friday? All of this Diddy getting pardoned, Diddy getting pardoned, Diddy getting pardoned, Diddy getting pardoned. You know what happened? Last week on the backdrop, should we fill them in at all? Let's talk about Derek Lee Cordello Smith. And first episode and first bit of content is going to be coming soon. Do y'all really understand Derek's situation? Like, do you really understand how precarious this will be for so many other people? See, there are so many people who sit online trying to make a liar out of Derek. But I want y'all to think about this. If Derek is telling the truth, let's just say if. I'm not even going to say that I believe him. Matter of fact, I'm not even trying to convince anybody to believe him. Let's just say if. If Derek is telling the truth, then that means that not only has Diddy framed an innocent man, but he robbed him as well. He robbed him. He robbed him so that he could continue to live his debaucherous lifestyle. Like, I want y'all to think about all of the money that was spent on these freak offs. I want y'all to think about all of the money that was spent on corrupting information, obstructing justice. I want you to think of all of that stuff. Like, because he's been able to do all of the things that he's done because of the money that he has. But that's not all his money. The businesses that he's gotten involved in, the things that he's done, he was able to do these things with an investment that was made back in the 90s. Like, I don't think anybody is really taking into consideration all of the things that have happened since 1997. Derek's been in jail since 1998, serving all of these sentences. And what's wilder is that people are so committed to calling him a liar, but nobody's interested in doing the research to find out. Yeah, it's just, like Wolf. Wolf invested $800,000 and he never lived to get his money. There were 10 investors that went in and invested with Derek, and he's the only one that's left alive. He's the only one that survived. Like, I want y'all to think about that. Now, people can say I'm sharing false information. People can say this, people can say that, but we have receipts, actual literal receipts of documents that were obtained legitimately. How funny is it that all of this Diddy's getting out of jail, Diddy's coming home, Diddy's getting a pardon, Trump is pardoning Diddy, comes right after. Right after I reintroduced Derek's story, because Derek's story was already introduced. More importantly, why does nobody want to cover it? Why does nobody want to cover his story? Even the people that tried to line him up and set him up to look like he's a liar and he's a this and he's a that. Why haven't they dug any deeper? Now, there is a witness that I spoke to that said that this man named Michael Volpe recorded them and AI and spoofed what they had to say to make it sound like they said something different about Derek than they did. It's also been alleged to me by Derek that the same thing was done with him. Now, That's not hard for me to believe because people have done it to me. And I'd appreciate it if we could get at least 40 more likes. Let's get over that hump. Let's get to that 500. And Replay Gang, I know you're going to get us to the 1K. Why are people working so hard to not talk about all of this? Now, I played you the video clip from Art of Dialogue, where Gene Deal himself was talking about this. And they said that they were looking at the paperwork, but nobody's addressing that. No, it's just this, it's just that. And now people are talking about, I'm going to go and I'm going to get my own receipts and I'm going to prove. Yeah, and this is all right before Halloween. It's wild because there was another young woman who was 17 years old just the other day that was found dismembered in Detroit, Michigan. There's a lot of people that are being found dismembered these days, leading up to Halloween. Hollywood, Hollyweird, Halloween. A lot of crazy stuff going on. I'm committed to tying up all the loose ends and connecting all of the necessary dots. Welcome, NT33. There's some real interesting, serious things going on. And we wanted to move with this a lot faster than we did, and I'm glad that we didn't because there's other things that are happening. There's other things that are coming up that need to be addressed. Maybe because Derek's would open up stuff that could have buried him in trouble. See? Now you're cooking. Derek represented himself in most matters. Derek is right now currently representing thousands. He's helping thousands of inmates secure their freedom. If I'm correct, I believe somebody just went home the other day with Derek's help. And he's working on someone else right now that he's preparing to come home. Anytime I see somebody go out of their way to try to vilify a human being that's trying to do some good in this world, I have to check more and I have to dig deeper. I have to understand why it's being done. I do. I have to understand why it's being done. But I really just want people to look at, and who's paying all of these people to tell all of these lies? Who's paying all of these people to ignore? Why is it that people are always so busy ignoring the very things that I'm pointing at? Or it's funny to be constantly stalked, constantly harassed, to be constantly misrepresented, to have people taking my words, flipping it around, mixing it around, doing this, doing that. But when it comes to the things that I'm talking about, everyone's, huh? She said what? I don't know. I didn't hear that. You want to know what I really think? I think this whole Diddy pardon thing is a dog whistle. I think it's certain people's way of trying to scare people. Ooh, Diddy's coming home. Diddy's coming home. I think it's a way to try to embolden certain people into keeping their mouths shut. I think it's a way to embolden people or to warn people. Yeah, there's been nothing but smoke and mirrors from the second that the trial started. Nothing but smoke and mirrors. You don't need to file for an appeal if you got a pardon in hand. All of this back and forth, back and forth. It's like they're trying to confuse people away from looking at something. When you see this much diversion, when you see this much distraction, it's because people are trying to get you to not look at something. You know? Kardashians are involved in a whole lot of stuff. Whole lot of stuff. Now all of a sudden, Nicki Minaj is a schizophrenic. It's funny how that works. Because they tried to label me as a schizophrenic as well. They always need people to be crazy when it works for them. It's interesting. It's interesting. But I honestly think that for me to go live about what I went live about last night, addressing the lineup for disinformation and pointing out all of the misdirection that's going on, to wake up in the morning and to see a bunch of threatening and menacing comments from someone who's not a subscriber to my channel, who I've seen in troll chats, to hear that the Daily Mail went and spoke to someone at the White House, an official source from the White House, and said, no, Trump is not pardoning Diddy. For me to be able to go on Google and pull it up and it say, no, he's not pardoning Diddy. For me to see 10 large outlets immediately come out this morning to try to defend and back up TMZ. For TMZ to, people from TMZ to be doing interviews on large, like that was Dallas News. And they were sitting there talking to someone from TMZ, trying to convince everyone that Trump is pardoning Diddy this week. Why are they working so hard? And more importantly, they said this at the sentencing. Right after sentencing, Harvey Leviathan sat there on his panel and said that Diddy was getting time served. Were they right or were they wrong? Then they said, because this isn't the first time we've heard this pardon stuff. This isn't the first time they've tried to sell this. This is actually the third time. The third time TMZ has tried to push this story that Diddy's getting pardoned by Trump. That Diddy's getting pardoned by Trump the third time. Why are they so desperate to sell this story? More importantly, they were wrong every other time. Why is it that these large outlets get to tell these tall tales and people still support them and people still watch them and nobody calls them out for being a liar? Why is that? Meanwhile, these outlets get to call people like me and other people who are whistleblowing and telling the truth liars, and nobody asks them to prove what they say. No, they get to just call people liars, and that's just that. Oh, well, because it's TMZ, I mean, they have 6 million subscribers. They have 5 million subscribers. It must be true. I'm just trying to figure it out. How does that work? There's a lot of people that just like following blindly off into large spaces because they're popular. And I don't think people are getting it. I can believe a lot of things, pretty girl. I can believe that right now they're willing to do whatever they have to do to gaslight Derek and to gaslight anybody who's supporting Derek. I think a lot of this has a lot more to do with Derek than people are giving credit. And I think if we hadn't started this conversation into looking further into this, I don't think a lot of stuff that's happening right now would be happening. I think people are terrified. That's what I think. But what I'm also sure of is that Derek is going to be just fine. I'm sure of that. You guys are going to be getting the first installments this week. They are coming. We apologize they're not coming sooner. Our producer is a little under the weather, and so is our host. But we fighting. We're going to get it through. We're going to get it done. Ebenezer, that's a very interesting name. Welcome. But the members only content you're going to want to hear. The stuff that's open to the public, you're going to want to hear that too. But when I go back and I review what we have so far, and then I see what's happening, out here, I'm just sitting here looking like we're the little community that could, we're the little train that could, but I think we have the ability to push this thing through, Anytime they start threatening me in the comments, anytime they start sending veil threats, I know I'm on to the right thing. Like I do. I know I'm on to the right thing. I know I'm moving in the right direction. Anytime they start pushing out wild, crazy stories like this, Diddy's coming home this day, Diddy's coming home that day, Diddy's doing this, Diddy's doing that, like all of this, thank you. Love is returned and appreciated. And y'all need to start paying attention to that. Like, just start looking at the timeline. I think they're worried. I think they're terrified. That's what I think. But for people to be scaring people, for people to be putting disinformation out about me, pulling up old videos that have already been debunked and proven, bringing in stalkers and scammers who are trying to confuse the conversation and scare people away from it, like, I think it's about to get hot, and I think it's about to get real. And I want everyone to understand this. We have no intention in going after anyone in law enforcement or government officials unfairly or without real merit or warrant. Like, we're not interested in doing that. What we're interested in doing is getting to the bottom of the curious case of Derek Lee Cordello Smith. That's what we're interested in doing. Now, there's going to be intersections, and we understand that. But I need you guys to just keep all of this in prayer. But for them to be going as hard about this pardon story and no one's getting any real evidence or real information, and it's just all of this alleged stuff and passing this around and passing that around. And yeah, no. I think we struck a nerve. So I want to say welcome to all new members. Thank you to all new subscribers. We're pushing forward. We're pushing forward. But yeah, I think it's time for us to just really start turning off the noise and just focusing on what's right there. Because this is kind of freakish, like to be able to go in and look in the search algorithms and just see Diddy's being pardoned, Diddy's being pardoned, Diddy's being pardoned, Diddy's being pardoned. That's a distraction. That's an illusion. And to know that TMZ is at the head of the charge for it, is even more troubling because I know for a fact that they put out and they print fake news. And they shouldn't be allowed to do so. Yet, they get to do so. So yeah, guys, that's about it. I just wanted to pop in because we got more work to do. We need to get some rest. We need to get ourselves together. But I wanted to tap in with you guys and let you know, hey, look at what's going on. They doing a lot. And to poetry and poverty, or poetry, poverty, whatever the case may be, please save your threats and save your lies. Stop doing that. People have seen who you are. People have seen your account. We ain't going for it. And excuse me in my bedridden state. And thank you. And thank you for all of the good advice. Trust me, we got everything that we need, and we're going to keep on pushing it. But that doesn't mean that we're not moving forward. He's achieved an education at the public level. Juris Doctorate. Listen to me. Derek is not playing with his freedom. He actually had said something that I thought was really interesting when I was reviewing the tapes. And shout out to Derek Lee for this statement, because it was a good statement. Someone had said to him that the man who represents himself in court has a fool for a client. I'm sorry, what are you talking about, admin? Speaking of noise, what is this? Tia and Tamara looking for attention with... Look, they're trying... Look, they got Tia and Tamara. They got Brittany and Monica. They got all kinds of stuff going on. They're throwing everything at us that they possibly can. Listen to me. Derek is very persistent, but back to what I was saying. And thank you, Edman, for your donation to the channel. Appreciate you. Somebody said to him, the man who represents himself in court has a fool for a client. And so Derek's response was, so what do you say about all of the people who hired attorneys and ended up in prison anyway? I guess they paid for their convictions. And I said, that's really a damn good point. You got people talking about the person who represents their self in court has a fool for a client, which basically is just someone's way of saying you'd be a fool not to have a lawyer to go into court. But how many people go into court, pay a lawyer tons of cash, and that lawyer ends up getting them, they get convicted anyway? Like, Diddy had what, 10 lawyers? Like, he had the dream team of lawyers. Spent millions. He spent what, almost $20 million for lawyers, and that's not, probably not including paralegals and private investigators and all the other stuff. Like, Diddy probably spent like 25 million. And he still got convicted. Can you imagine spending $25 million and you still get convicted and you still have to go to jail? 25 million. And he's still paying them to try to make it all go away still. He's still trying to make it all go away. I mean, Derek has a point there. What's worse? Somebody who believes in God and does their study and fights for their best interest, knowing that they can't be corrupted or what they're doing can't be corrupted, or the person who spends like $25 million to get off and still has to go to jail? What do you think? I don't know. Derek has a good point with that. Really good point with that. Derek had counsel in the beginning. That's until he figured out who was filling their pockets. Then he learned the game. Derek doesn't. He plays chess. Indeed. Indeed. See, that's the other part. That's the other part of the story that a lot of people don't know. There's a lot of lawyers that'll sell you up the river. Imagine if Diddy didn't pay his... Ooh, honey. Ooh. No, but seriously though, like, I've had a few lawyers in the past. Yeah. They always want to advise you to take a deal. They always want to advise you to put yourself in the system's hands. And then they want to charge you max dollar at doing it. Oh, yeah. I'm going to need $15,000 for my retainer and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And then it might be this and then it might be that and it might be this and then it might be that, for dummy charges that should be easy to get rid of. Yeah, because they're in it for the money. Not only that, there's a lot of attorneys, like, I don't know why nobody's really thought about it. And it's going to be one of the last things I say before we get out of here. Tyrone Blackburn. Why has nobody looked at him good and sideways? Because in my opinion, when I look at all of the cases that he's taken, they all Schluminati involved. Diddy, TD Jakes, everybody around all of that stuff. And he's always screwing it up. I don't think Tyrone Blackburn has won any case against any of these people. He goes and he jumps in, he comes in real hot, he does all of this stuff, and I don't know, for whatever reason, this is just my opinion and it's all alleged, I think he's working with the other side. Yeah, he was just indicted for apparently the process server that was serving him with his lawsuit, 60 some odd year old man, and he hit him with his car trying to get away so he didn't have to be served. But really though, like I'm looking at Ariel Mitchell Kidd. Who was she really representing and for what reason? For me to be put in that lawsuit, what it goes to show is she never cared about Ashley Parham's case to begin with because she knew it was a lie. I'm sitting here looking, there's a lot of these lawyers out here, they're scam artists. And I'm starting to feel that way. So yeah, shout out to Derek for saying that, because there's a lot of people who pay money just to end up in jail. At least he knows he can trust himself and trust God. But he is going to need some help eventually. Like, you can only do but so much by yourself. He's in jail filing all of these papers, doing all of this. They have the ability to change his circumstances and make it difficult for him to make certain deadlines, all kinds of things. We all need to get smarter. We need to get smarter. A lot smarter. No, seriously, because Tyrone Blackburn, to me, in my opinion, I think he's working for the other side. I think he's being financed to screw off real victims' cases. That's the way it's looking to me. That's the way it's looking to me. And people will do anything for a buck these days. So until we come back, I'll see you guys, because I don't know when's the next time I'm going to be going live, because we need to get these videos up and squared away. Thank you for the over 500 likes. Replay gang, we know you won't get us to that 1K. Thank you to everyone who is here and who's been here. Appreciate you. But yeah, let's pay attention, because I do think that this Diddy pardon business is a distraction. I think it's a distraction. I think they want us all to look at this so we're not seeing what's really happening. And I think the thing that they're trying to distract everybody away from, I think it has something to do with Derek. I do. I feel that way. I do. I do. I'm not sure if Little Rod is still being represented by Tyrone Blackburn. Let's see if we can Google it and figure it out. It's saying Tyrone Blackburn. That's what it's saying. I don't see how that's going to work. He's being indicted. I don't know. I don't trust that dude. But the evidence is the evidence, so we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think this whole Diddy pardon stuff has a lot to do with Derek Lee Cordello Smith. This newest Diddy distraction. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, and please become a member. We'll be seeing you guys soon. Not quite sure exactly when we're coming back, but we'll be coming back soon. But you will be getting content this week. So regarding the Buried Alive series for defending your freedom. Yeah, please pray for a survivor, pray for all survivors, pray for a victim. Pray for our platforms that are telling the truth. And pray that these people that are out here doing the devil's work will realize that it's pointless and they need to come back to God. Will do. So listen to me. God is watching all sides of me. All sides of me. When I go to sleep, I go to sleep. You understand? So, and I'll make sure I send all of the get better wishes to Odell. And I'll make sure he knows, even though he can hear. So, until next time.